Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. We have two Pilsner beers from Germany. Wernesgrüner. This is 4.9% alcohol. The company was founded in 1436, during the Middle Ages, when Germany was known as the Holy Roman Empire. They had an emperor. Don't know exactly who the emperor was in 1436. Habsburg, Rudolph, Maximilian, I can't remember. All right, anyway, and that's from Wernesgrüner, Germany, and it's a Carlsberg Group brand, okay? This one is König Pilsener. There's an anchor and a crown, the king, König Pilsener. And it was started in 1872. They only make Pilsner. They make a non-alcoholic version also. I bought this at a local store. Now, Douglas sent me this. He lives in Virginia. He sent me this Wernesgrüner, and I appreciate it. Pretty soon, I'll be able to get it when they finish the Aldi here. So, König Brauerei, Duisburg Beek. I don't know what that is. Purem Laudator. Nach dem Reinheitsgebot. Gebrot mit König, Hefe und deutschen Hopfen. König yeast and German hops. And they talk about the hops on the website. And it's beer, and it's a 330 milliliter bottle, not the best value. And we complain about European beers, but I noticed some American beers are 10-ounce bottles, like Jack Daniel's country, whatever cocktails. What a deal. John and Neely, good afternoon, Ron. Good afternoon to you, John and Neely. And I watched his Duo Stout Sundays yesterday, but I only had one of the beers that they had, and all of the beer tasting they did, I only had the Bell's Porter. So this premium beer, Radeberg, Germany, Wernesgrüner, Germany. Who's going to win? I don't know. We're going to find out right now. B Aviation says, good afternoon, evening, Ron. Same to you, B Aviation. Nice thick head, golden appearance. Could add more light by turning the Venetian blinds, but I don't want it to be like a big glaring light. Okay. König. They have Best Buy dates that are really nice on these beers. Best Buy, August 10th. Not as thick of a head on the König. König Pilsner. I don't know why I was saying that town. I got it confused. Duisburg Beek, Germany. König. Let's look it up. König. Oh, put the wrong title. What's wrong with my mind? You know what's wrong? Because I was thinking about auto glass for something. I'll correct that right now. Oh, my mind is gone. Let me edit. I went to New Orleans, ended up staying one day. I went to Bourbon Street and saw some, let's say, interesting things. Oh, a lot of good beer selection. That's probably what you're talking about. Good seafood. This rule. Yeah, I know y'all had that Cocoa V problem with the protocols. I did this before. I don't know why I'm always confusing the two. I must be dense in the head. König. Oh, it's owned by Oh, interesting, because used to own Wernesgrüner, and they sold it. So now we'll get this straight. Sorry about the mistake. All right. We'll correct that right now. Pilsener. All right, so let's see. König 4.9. Yeah, I should have caught that right off. König Pilsener. $18.58, right? $19.11. Introduced in 1911. 4.9% alcohol. A Bitburger International brand. See, my third says Radaburger, and I had that in my head. Bitterness units, they don't list it. Oh well, water. Neither one of these have adjuncts. Okay, so now we set. Now we set. Sorry for the little mistake. Okay, so the König has less foam. Let me go put these up in the fridge or down in the fridge because warmth is not their friend. I'm not saying you gotta have them super ice cold, but warm, no. Sorry, no. Having a Czech var right now, and it does not. Yeah, Greg Cleaner. Yeah, Czech var is good. Is there a difference between German Pilsners from different regions of the country? Probably so, but I don't know what they are. I'm in the process of moving. I could use a cold 6-pack of both right now, says Panther's Rule. Crying kitty cat and a laughing face. Okay, I got to close my eyes, y'all, because one has more foam. The Wernesgrüner has more foam, and might buy Radaburger. You know, when Aldi opens up here, I'll try to do some more Wernesgrüner taste challenges like Radaburger, and I'll lose track of which ones I've taste challenged. It happens, you know. All right. Smells nice. Smells nice. So they both smell like crackery barley malt. Okay, but you know, they're not different in the aroma. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. Awesome. Biscuity barley malt, grassy hops, medium body, crisp finish. Do American Pilsners match up to this product? Oh, no way. No way. They might have some. I haven't run across them. And they have craft lagers, you know, that I can name some of them. They're fine, but they cannot match up to these. They just don't. They don't. And I'm sorry, I'm not anti-American. Heck, I live in America. But I know what I'm tasting. Same thing here, but not as sharp cracker biscuit, more of a rounded barley, and good sharp, bitter, grassy hops. See, American beer drinkers like Miller Lite, a fine Pilsner beer, which I don't know if that's meant to be some kind of joke, if Miller thinks people are just imbeciles, or they just figure people don't know what Pilsner means and they're not going to bother looking it up. And what percentage of Miller Lite devotees do you think have looked that up? If it's 1%, I'd be shocked. And I'm not putting them down because they just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. They're both medium bodied. There's some sweetness here. Sweetness scale on the first one, I'd say 2.5 out of 5 sugar cubes. It's not overly sweet, but it has some pretty good sweetness. Bitterness, 3 out of 5 hop cones for sure. 3 out of 5 hop cones, no doubt. And I would say the same over here. Maybe 3.5. Yes, more bitterness. Now, I'm not going to look at the beers. Put my hands over that. Okay, let's look at the comments. Maxwell, hello, Maxwell in the Russian Federation. Hello to you. King of the Dots, Gary says, I'm surrounded by craft beers that I'm afraid to drink. Give me a good one, Bobby. I don't know why you're afraid to drink them. Cheers to you, John Miles. Ron, sorry for the disrespect comments yesterday. I didn't notice any. And if they were, I didn't take it that way. Howdy, says Ronald Ruski. Beer Hounds Beer Reviews. Hello, Bill. Love to get topped. Cheers, Ron. Oh, you like the? Oh, I see. You like the beer glass topped off. Excellent. Alexander Hill says, I've found that the northern German Pilsners like Jever and Flensburger, awesome product, Flensburger and Jever, are generally more bitter than those from other regions. Well, that might be true because I did Jever and Flensburger versus Wernesgrüner, and Wernesgrüner did not match up. I like Wernesgrüner. Bottom fermented, 11.3% original gravity. They say the type of beer is a bold beer. Bold beer. What does that mean, bold beer? Noble hop varieties for the renowned Hallertau and from the renowned Hallertau and Elbe Saal growing regions. Golden malted barley of the highest quality, and our crystal clear water from the deep springs of the Erzgebirge, the Erzgebirge Waldland Nature Park. Einfach Grüner, Wernesgrüner. Don't know what that means, but okay. Willkommen. Pretty brewery. They got some nice photos on here. Beautiful photos, in fact. I'll put the links below. You can check it out. Saxony. Steinberg, Wernesgrün, Saxony, Germany. Okay. East Germany. Eastern Germany was part of the East German, communist occupied East Germany from 1945 to 1990. 89, it collapsed. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. And Saxony is right next, directly north of the Czech Republic, directly north of Bohemia. Yep. So they were their own kingdom. That used to be their own kingdom. From 1806 until 1918. Mm-hmm. Used to be bigger, but they had a war with Prussia and they lost. And so Prussia took their part of Saxony and said, thank you. That was called Prussian Saxony. Okay, back to the comments, and I'm going to call it. B Aviation says, yeah, we had a mandate issue, so we drove to Metairie to Bobby Hebert's for food and left the next morning. I'm sorry. They got a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things to do around there that you don't have to worry about those mandates. Like I'll say, the natural, and you were on some good weather days for I think for the most part, like the National Wildlife Refuge, really nice. And the National Park, both of them are free too, by the way. Nice trails. Bobby Hebert's is a good place from my experience. I enjoyed that place. I'm sorry you didn't have such a good trip. Nicole, will you review Miller High Life Light? No, because it's discontinued. Gooba, heck yes, I made it to the live stream. JBD, Joe Biden's dentures. Agreed, Ron. I've tried a ton of American Pilsners, and they just don't measure up. They don't. Geary says, Ron, if the beers could speak, what would they say? Howdy. They're saying howdy to me right now. Beerhound says, had a shot of Kessler last night and just couldn't get that weird note you picked up. Hey, I'm sorry, Kessler has a weird note to me. I don't hate the stuff, but I ain't in love with it. Miller Life. Oh, Miller High Life, you mean. It's the champagne of beer, brews. Yeah, the champagne of beer. Miss Koenig, definitely one of my favorite Pilsners, says Bob McNeely. Yeah, it's a good one. Gary says, we need a darn good Ukrainian beer. Never heard of one. Yeah, Obolon. I had one of the Obolons, and it was great. Where's Orangey? I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. I don't know where she is. They were working on the carport, so she probably got scared and ran off. But she disappears during the day, I can get Wernesgrüner for $6.99. It's 6 bottles. Absolute steal. You got that right. Jean-Pierre says, hey, Jay, never seen Koenig. Yeah, I can get it right there. Well, right there or 35 miles away. You said Koenig. You spelled Kong. I've never seen King Kong either. Kessler, yummy. That's a way back machine whiskey. Wow, I'm going to be in the memory lane all night. Thanks. Kessler, I got me a big bottle here, you all. Checking in, says Caleb, Jeep and Foodie. Hey, Jeep and Foodie. Alexander Hill says, there's one Pils from the South called Tannin Zapchen, made by Rothaus in the Black Forest. Very nice if you ever get to try it. It only comes in 330 milliliter bottles. It's fairly bitter for a Southern brew. I'd try it. German Americans love Pilsners. I believe it. I love them. And I'm German American in some respects. Coke and Kessler, rum and Coke, Cuddy and Coke. Things go better with Coca-Cola. Okay. Lazy, le bon temps roulé. I misspelled it. Sorry, Jay. Oh, that's all right. Tannin Zapfel, not tannin. Oh, that's all right. I'll probably never see it anyway. Okay, that's it. Enough's enough. Got to call it. I like this one better. It's more bitter. It's got more bitterness, but they're both wonderful. I'd probably just shop price, honestly, but this one does taste better, and I think it's the Koenig. I'm sorry about that Radeberger confusion. And I can get that right at Mathern's a mile away. Aha, it is the Koenig. Well, Koenig wins. Sorry, y'all, but Koenig wins. I don't know what I'm sorry about. Chester Spradlin says, saw Koenig 4 500 milliliter cans for $9.99. So $2.50 a can. Well, that's not bad. Unfortunately, it was 2 months over the freshness date, so I passed. Good idea. Pass on that. B Aviation. I wanted to stay in the area longer, but it was too. I wish you could have, but it was cool to see the city a little bit and drive over the causeway. The causeway, very long bridge. They're getting rid of all those mandates about the end at the end of the month, pretty much. So it was like a big crisis. But then they caught the mayor having a party with no face covering, dancing and all, and it's like, see, just like I told y'all, they don't think it's dangerous, because if they thought it was dangerous, they would take precautions. But they don't believe what they're preaching, because who do politicians care about the most? Themselves. So if they really thought it was dangerous, they would take precautions. They wouldn't be out there blasé at a party crowded with people thick as molasses and not worrying about distancing or taking precautions. So the whole thing, that's why I've been calling it a scamdemic. But see, these people get caught and they say, well, you see what happened. No, what happened was you are a lying liar who lies. You figured König would win, and it did. It didn't win by a lot. Do European beer companies make 12-ounce bottles for the American market? Some do. Some do. For instance, Spaten Oktoberfest and Spaten Optimator is 12-ounce bottles. Have never seen König locally. Yeah, it's around. This has been a fantastic video production. It has been, hasn't it? All right, so that's it. So the winner is König. Let me go get the bottle one more time to show you. But we're going to give credit where credit's due. Wernesgrüner did a great job, so no problem. But we do have to call a winner. Well, sometimes it's a tie and you can't call a winner. I've had these taste challenges where there's just no winner. It's just, to me, it was a tie. Thank you. I made a good statement. Thank you. Hey, Ron, splurged and bought some Hofbräu today for $3.75 for a 500 milliliter, pricier than my usual Czech Pilsner brews, and it wasn't kept cold. Sadly, the LCBO didn't have. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, you want to have these things good and cold, in my opinion. Nice. So, great taste challenge. 2 great beers. Wernesgrüner. If you see it, buy it. Don't hesitate to buy it. If you see König or Radeberger, like I was confused earlier. If you see König, really, honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth. If you see any of these German Pilsners, Flensburger, Jever, Wernesgrüner, König, and so on and so on and so on, buy them, because I haven't had a bad one yet, and I probably don't have a bad one. How do these compare to something like Pilsner Urquell? Says B Aviation. They compare, but they can't measure up. No. Nothing can measure up to Pilsner Urquell. Sorry. Do I recommend both? Yes. I do, Panthers rule. Lurk, honestly, just check the dates. Get the freshest one. That's for sure. I wouldn't have bought, if these would have been out of date, well, the Wernesgrüner was sent to me, so I had no control over that, but it's a good date. That's by December of this year. But if this would have been out of date, I wouldn't have bought it. I would not have bought it. No way. I'd have just shopped around. But thankfully it was. It has a sharp looking label. Nothing fancy, but it's got no funny animals. It's got nothing about the devil. These craft breweries need to take a lesson from these companies. You say, oh, they're macro. They're macro. Yeah, okay, I get that. I was kind of aware of that already. They got way better looking labels, okay? I mean, when I see funny animals and the thing looks like a cheap cartoon, not like a good Warner Brothers cartoon, like a cheap cartoon that they hired an artist for cheap because they probably can't afford a good artist. It doesn't really make you want to buy it. I could go in the fridge right now and show you a bunch of bad looking craft beer cans. It's sad in a way because the product inside is usually really good. Like some of these be now, okay, they're not all like that. The Bywater vanilla stout, the barrel aged vanilla stout, Bywater barrel aged vanilla stout is a nice looking label. It's a really good. It's an example of what craft beers. Do I like Oriental beers? Oh yes. Qingdao Pure Draft, really good. The labels make a difference. It does. Original Indianapolis Snow Queen. Okay. You're drinking Evil Macro? How dare you? I know. I'm a traitor. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm gonna show you a good craft beer label. I'm gonna show you a good craft beer label. And then I'm gonna show you a bad one. All right, now. Well, I'll review San Miguel one day, says Nicole. I have reviewed it. It's kind of iffy. That beer's kind of iffy. I've had good samples and bad. I had their dark and it was nice. I had the regular. It was not so good one time, the Pilsner. I don't know why they call it a Pilsner. It's really not. And the other one, the other sampler wasn't that good. And they had the light. So San Miguel's kind of iffy. The Red Horse Ale was dynamite. The Red Horse beer, sorry, lager beer. We can't get San Miguel around here anyway, so used to get it. But now this is a nice, now, you know, the tape, you know, the adhesive label is not the best looking. Okay, we'll admit that. But they can't afford, you know, the traditional painted on, you know, the good labels. Like this, for instance. Okay, but anyway, now this is nice. Dignified. It's got a steamboat on the Mississippi River. Bywater, vanilla, bourbon stout. Classic looking label. Look like an old whiskey bottle. That's nice looking. You know, it makes you want to buy it. This makes you want to not buy it. This is from Pontoon Brewing. A guy stuffing his face with pancake and syrup. I mean, why would you want to buy this? The artwork is poor. The theme is worse. You know, and they make good beer. Most of the stuff I tried from them is really good. But it's a sad situation in a way because a lot of these craft beer companies, they kind of like chase people away, push people away with their horrible labeling. Imperial Brown Ale with pecans, vanilla, and lactose. Sounds good. 8%. Sounds good. Ale with natural flavors, product of Georgia. I mean, I like it, but it's just that the labeling is so inferior, you know, it's just so bad. You look at this laughable thing here, then you look at something good like this, it's a joke. I mean, it's a real joke. And then people will say, oh, you side with macros, you got some kind of hidden agenda, you prefer macros, etc., and all of this talk, which is totally wrong. It's always been wrong. It was wrong at the beginning, it was wrong in the middle, and it's wrong now. All right. So I never had an axe to grind with craft, you know, with macro, middle crow, or micro. I just drank the products. I don't know why people had this idea that I did. I didn't worry about it. I just told them you're wrong. At least it isn't a demon trying to act evil and in your face, says Dan Page. Yeah, those are out there too, you know. saying like, you know, they're like, we're evil. This beer is evil, pure evil. I'm like, no, I got some ideas. You know, I'm thinking to myself, if you're really that edgy, I have some really good ideas for evil labeling. But of course, they would never put it on there. So even those evil companies are a joke because the ideas I have, they would never dream of putting it on the label. And you want to know why? Because the company would say, oh, that's evil. We can't put that on the label. That's evil. It's like, well, isn't that your whole theme? Look at your website. You know, but it's a joke. They are a joke. You know, they're like, well, you know, we're politically correct evil. And I'm like, yeah, but the devil that you claim to follow, he ain't politically correct. You know, but anyway, enough of that, you know, but I mean, y'all, I'm telling you what, you know, most of the viewers know this already. They know about all that silliness. And that's what it is. It's total silliness, foolishness. I won't buy beers with skulls or skeletons on the label or use the word, bad words. I don't either. There's some beers I've skipped over. People are like, why'd you skip it? I was like, I didn't want to drink it, you know. I didn't go make a video ranting about it. You know, I didn't do a showcase video like, let me tell you why I don't like this beer. You know, I just simply didn't address it. There's a lot of other beers I can address. So, right. There's a good example. Greg Cleaner. Yeah, that's kind of pushing the envelope, Dan. But it's, you know, it's not too far. The craziest thing is someone is doing this thinking it will make the beer sell, but then it doesn't really. But the classy labels appeal to all demographics. Yeah. So it's like if you run a company, it's probably best not to alienate people. You want to appeal to a broad audience. You know, this Wernesgrüner can is not going to alienate anybody. Looks nice. No one's going to take exception to it. Same thing with König Pilsener. No one's going to take exception to that. It's going to appeal to people. They're going to want to drink it. And here's another good example. Good craft beer, expensive, $4.50 a can. Well worth it. I've tried two already. It's well worth it. Most of y'all can't get it. It's a fabulous product. And the can is nice. And Southern Great Raft Brewing in Shreveport. They spend the money. They get it done to bring in nice can designs, label, very appealing, very intelligent usage of labeling art utilization. All right. Anyway, so Wernesgrüner did a good job. Didn't quite measure up to König, but it was still very nice. And there's not much else to say about it. So vanilla bourbon stout. Oh my, says John in LA. I know, John. Man, if you drank this beer, you would love it. And this is no weakling from Port Orleans and 7-3 Distilling in New Orleans. This beer is 11% alcohol. The 2022 batch is 11%. It's a 16-ounce can. Believe me, you drink this can, you're going to take a good nap. Is it up to the level of like a Goose Island Bourbon? It is up to that level. It's not as strong. You know, you drink Goose Island Bourbon County Stout, you feel like you took medicine. But at 11%, I mean, that's pretty serious. I would not go anywhere after that. That looks amazing. Definitely a sipper. It is amazing. Two things about that beer. It is amazing. I think I scored it 98 out of 100. It's definitely a sipper. It's memorable. And I beg you to not be out and about drinking that. You need to be at your house drinking that. That's no joke. Okay, thanks everybody. So cheers to both of the beers, Wernesgrüner and König, but König does win, and that's the way it works. So thank you for watching this video production